it's going to be. Salina Mendoza, Shalom. Asalat Dubar, Yahweh, Shalom. Sarawai, oh man, Shalom, brother. Hope everything's good out in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get started here real quick. We're going to get started, you know what I'm saying? Napash, Shalom, brother, Shalom. So give us a second. We're about to get started here. We getting a little late in, but we still going to be here. We got a great show today, man. We got a great show today. We came up with a great topic. And that's the art of Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It seems like, well, first of all, let me start it off with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat to all of Israel. We're Isupk coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, under commanding General Yohana. And we're here every week with the Inconvenient Truth to bring in topics that are most important in our time and to give that biblical history of who we are, where we come from, and why it is that we need to come together. You know what I'm saying? This is Officer CHAAZAQ 5000. Today I'm sitting in here with who's in the house? Yawasop from Northern California. Sharwan, of course, you know what I'm saying? Kamadal, always in the house here. Oscar War, Officer Lahab, you know what I'm saying? And the rest of us who are here to bring this this truth to you. You know, it's important that we sit in every Wednesday no matter what. We got to come in here and do this show and keep our people, you know, in tune, on track with all that's happening to us, you know, across the nation, man, because it's a terrible situation. One of the reasons we need to turn in is because we're living in a time where oppression has been at its most high. It's always been high, but it seems like today it's most prevalent because of social media. Today we get to see and experience what's happening with our brothers and sisters. It's prevalent out there that we are oppressed because, you know, of all the news that's coming out, all the incidents that come out. It's just inevitable for us to acknowledge that that we are those people that are being robbed, raped, destroyed, murdered, and that, you know, they're trying to push our history under the rug and help us to forget who we are. But of course, in the Isupk, we're here to preserve that history, no matter how terrible and how tragic it might have been. We're here to keep that history alive. But today we got Yawasop in the house, Northern California up in here. And man, you know, we got a beautiful show here today. We want you all to stay tuned. You know, we've been hearing a lot about what's going on in the front line on our borders, and you know, the children that are being detained. You know what I'm saying? We got the news on the front line of what's going on with our brothers and sisters who are being shot and murdered by police officers across the nation. Our Judite brothers, our black brothers, who are still being persecuted even to this day. When you say, you know, they're celebrating all this month, they're celebrating Juneteenth, talking about we are free, that we are, you know, Juneteenth is about freedom. But let's face it, there has been no freedom for blacks, Hispanics, or Native American Indians. The blacks are still being persecuted to this day, and we all know that's true. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this show is all about. This show is all about staying on topic and making sure that none of us ignore the fact that still to this day, we're still being persecuted, we're still being murdered, we're still being hung, we're still being deported, right. We're still being discriminated, we're still being targeted as a minority, forget the minority, as second-class citizens, right, in a country that we, the black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, have built. And why did we build it? Because we went and fought these wars for them. We went and died in the fields, in the battlefields of the white man's battles to make this country free. And if you don't understand this, you should understand that even though our ancestors, our forefathers, our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, our uncles, when they fought in these wars, all they fought for is for the white man to have a white picket fence and to live lusciously in a country that hates black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. I mean, it's obvious. This is what it is.
Right.
You know, we're not speaking lies here, we're speaking the truth. And the truth is that, you know, we are second-class citizens in a country that we made great. Ain't that truth, Oscar War?
Carnival concert.
And so that's why we got to come out here and do this show, do the Inconvenient Truth, because man, we don't hate white people. We hate what white people have done to us. We hate what white people have categorized us. We hate what the Caucasian has done to us throughout every century. You know, maybe there is some good white people out there, but man, we don't know about them. Ain't that right, Isupk?
Right.
We don't know these people. These people have not stepped up. If you're a good white person, you should be donating money to the Isupk, and knowing that the money that you're donating is because you feel remorse for what your ancestors have done to the people of this nation, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. I mean, come on now. It's obvious that this is what it's about. We're not here talking hate speech. We're not here talking, you know, discrimination, or we're not here talking about, racism. We're here talking about what has happened to Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians through the obvious hand of these people that have run a nation known as America, known as Caucasians. Isn't that right? That's what it is. So we're not here to promote hate. We don't hate. We don't hate. A lot of us work. We live amongst. We are surrounded by those that you call the white man. We live amongst them.
Right.
We're not walking around hating or discriminating or causing war against them.
Right.
We're just out here saying that what your ancestors have done has been a terrible thing.
Right. If I could, real quick.
Go ahead.
Like, you know what we don't do? We're not getting guns and shooting up colleges.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not going out and beating people on the street, kicking their teeth in. You know what I mean? Arresting them for no reason and accusing them of drugs and everything like that. That's not what we do.
Con.
You know what I mean?
Con.
We're not lynching people on the streets.
Right.
We're not beating people in prison.
Right.
I mean, that's not what we do. That's what the white man does. I mean, what the white man does, that's hatred. That's hate. All we're doing is giving you that inconvenient truth.
Right.
And that's what the whole show is about. All we're doing is telling you the truth. But the white man want to consider it hate.
Right.
Because like what the scripture says that shame's going to cover them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's
Damn
Obadiah 1:10.
That's right. And Obadiah 1 and 10, man, that's exactly what I was thinking about when you were talking about that, because... Go ahead, sir.
And you brought out also, the general brought out also, how do you shame someone? You just bring out the truth.
Right.
You think that we singing the same old song of, oh, the black man has been beaten, the black man is down, the Hispanic man is down, the Native Indian man is down, you understand? But we just trying to shame someone that's been shaming us and killing us. Just like any abusive relationship, you will, you know what I'm saying, express yourself. Also, you will tell what has been done to you. You know what I'm saying? And the white man has been killing us, raping us, and still doing that to this day. You know what I'm saying? They got the Isuprites or Hispanic children at the border right now getting raped. Literally, they're getting raped. You understand? They're getting killed. You understand? They're getting drowned.
Right.
You understand? They're getting starvation out. You know what I'm saying? Like they getting all those things that have been done to us, but no one wants us to speak about it.
Right.
If we speak about it, it's like if we speak about what's happening to us, then we are the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? And you should speak about what's happening to you. You shouldn't let anything happen to you without you speaking about it.
Right.
So like, if I may.
No, absolutely. That's Officer Yawasop, Northern California, Cali Cat man in the house today, man. We're glad to have him here today in the show, The Inconvenient Truth, a powerful show that comes out here and speaks the truth to our people. Inconvenient truth, because this that we're speaking is so inconvenient that they'll label it hate speech, that they'll label it racism, that they'll label it everything that has to do with anti-American speech.
Right.
But in reality, we're just bringing out the history that America has hidden and that does not want to confront, because once they begin to confront this truth, they begin to realize that this truth is inconvenient for the white man in America, for the Caucasian in America. And you know what? This truth is not only like I could be saying, you could be saying, well, that Mexican guy, he's speaking, you know what he is. But if I bring my black brother into the into the show, I bring my Native American Indian brother into the show, we all have something in common.
Yeah.
We begin to speak about the same problem that happened to me, happened to them. The same atrocities that happened to my people happened to the black and the Native American Indian people. And even, let me go, that happened, I'm going to say, is happening to our people today. So it's a past and a present situation that has been going on for centuries with the black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian when it comes to the treatment and the discrimination and the murder and the robbing and the raping of black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians.
Right. Nah, keep on bringing it out. Keep on bringing it out. CHAAZAQ.
You know what I'm saying? So when we come on this show, the reason we bring it on is because, you know, we're not trying to say that we hate anybody, because we don't hate nobody. We hate what you've done to our people. We hate the fact that you don't want to confess or face the fact that you have done this to our people. And let me tell you something. For all you white folks that say, well, you know what, I wasn't there, I didn't do it, that was another people. Let me tell you something. You have to face the fact that your ancestors have done this to my people. We are the descendants of those that have been going through all this throughout every century. Just the way those that live today are descendants of those that did that to us throughout all those centuries. So we're all guilty. We're all guilty. I'm guilty of being part of the nation that was destroyed, as all the white people today are guilty of those that destroyed us. Ain't that right?
Right. And if I could bring something out, you understand, like what you're bringing out is heavy, because, like, you know, they want to say that we hate, but they don't realize that God hates, you know what I'm saying, the white man. You know what I mean? Like, and if you righteous, you would hate what God hates and love what God loves. But also, if it was up to us, we would probably love the white man. But like you saying, the things that they have done against us, you understand, we cannot love, we cannot deal with, we cannot allow it to happen. If you a righteous man and a smart man, you would separate from white people, so your people won't get hurt and harmed. You understand? Go ahead.
And let me tell you something. The truth is that, you know, these people have done this to us for so long that even our own people today are joining hands with these people.
Right.
And they're turning into the same spirit as these people that they have learned to turn against their own kind. They have learned to turn against. The Chicanos are now voting for Donald Trump. Chicanos are now talking about that, you know, we shouldn't speak about this. The Mexicans today, and blacks and Native American Indians, there's a lot of them out there saying, well, you know what, man, we should just put that aside. You know, when you see Juneteenth, you know, a lot of the videos on Juneteenth, you'll see people talking about, well, you know what, it's okay, that's in the past. We should join together. We should put this on the side and learn to unite and be as one, and most importantly, learn to cope with the situation and not take it, you know, as something that offends us. But in reality, you know, while they're out there, while the black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians who have decided to side with these people continue speaking this, we continually are murdered, are robbed, and are destroyed in the streets of America.
And if I could too, you know, like the reason why a lot of our people want to side with the so-called white man is because they're afraid of the so-called white man. You know what I mean? A lot of these so-called Hispanics and blacks and Native American Indians, West Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel, they're afraid of the white man. That's why they don't want to say nothing against the so-called white man, because if they do, they might lose their job. They might lose their white friends. You know, they're gonna lose the love of the so-called white man. That's something they can't handle. You know what I mean? They can't handle being that rebel. They'd rather be in the house. They want to be that house nigga than rather be that field nigga. You know what I mean? And that's why they don't want to say nothing. It's out of fear. You know, and that's why the UPK is so important. The Lord is giving us. You know what I mean? And you will not get that strength and that courage in the Christian church. You know what I mean? You're going to get it right here in the UPK. But the point being this is that a lot of brothers are scared of the so-called white man, and they fear. They fear the police, they fear the cops, they fear prison. You know what I mean? They fear what could happen to them if they were to come against the oppressor, come against the so-called white man. And that's a problem with our people is fear. But you have to understand is that when you follow God and you follow Christ, there is nothing to be afraid of. You gotta understand that the Lord gonna be with you. The same way the Lord was with Moses when the Egyptians were oppressing the Israelites. No different from today. You know what I mean? The Egyptians were oppressing the Israelite slaves. Black on black crime. You know what I mean? We're living the same thing in Egypt today. You know what I mean? But the Lord was with Moses, and the same way the Lord was with Moses is the same way the Lord gonna be with us today. You understand? You gonna say something else?
If this to piggyback off of what you said, that was powerful because, like, you know, they, especially the Sadducees and Pharisees, they used to always be scared of what the Romans and what they used to do, and what, like, they killed Christ because they was afraid of what the Romans might take away from them. Like, you gotta understand that, like, they killed Christ because they was, you know, the Romans was gonna take away their jobs and all the money that they get, the fancy cars that they drive, you know what I'm saying? They ain't had cars back then, of course, but, you know, whatever fancy things they had back then, just like now. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why they meeting with Donald Trump, all your preachers and pastors, because they afraid of what Donald Trump is going to take away from them. Because Donald Trump got the power to say these Negroes shouldn't, they don't deserve a private airplane. They don't deserve a mansion. They don't deserve a Rolls Royce. You understand? They don't deserve none of that. So they are scared to lose their money and their life. But in the ISUBK, no dollar amount could get us to turn on our brothers, man. To get us stop believing in the truth. You understand? And teaching the truth. No amount of money. You can't buy the love that we have in the ISUBK. You understand? And you understand the courage that we have. You can't buy courage. You have to come into the ISUBK and we will teach you courage. Like, you got to understand, like, a lot of people are scared to die for this truth. You understand? Why are you scared to die for the truth if the Lord with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Lord with you, shouldn't be scared of nothing. You know what I'm saying? That, you know why these preachers are scared to lose everything and lose their life? Because the Lord is not with them. And they know the Lord not with them. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Absolutely. Give me that precept if you got it. Bring that precept out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 21. Go, hand join in hand. The wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
That's the whole point, because the brother is saying that, you know, we want to join the oppressor, right? But it don't matter if you black and Hispanic, no matter how much you want to love the so-called white man, no matter how much you want to join him and support his philosophy, support his Christianity, support America, love America, and give your life for America, that devil gonna get punished. You know what I mean? Cause God is gonna come down on the white man. You understand? And you ain't gonna stop God from doing what he got to do. You know what I mean? God already got it set that he gonna punish the so-called white man. So no matter how much you want to protest with him and love him, give him kisses and hugs, and love his Christianity, that devil gonna go down to the ground. So either you join him and you die with him, or you can get down with your brothers in the ghetto, man. You get down with your brothers in the ghetto and rule over that so-called white man. That's what you can do. You know what I mean? Either you're going to be on the losing side or you're going to be on the winning side. Man, you want to be on that winning side. And how you going to get on that winning side? You get in the UPK. This is the winning side right here. You know what I mean? And if you black and Hispanic, you should use that wisdom, man. Use that wisdom, man, and just get down with your brothers. Get put on some boots, grow out your beard and your braids, man, and get down with your brothers, man. Everybody against us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And you know what? This is obvious because you know what? Like we've all gone through this. You know, black and Hispanics, we have such a close bond with our culture. You know, we like to party the same way. We like to do the same things. We're loud. We're outgoing. You know, we like to do things as big as possible. You know, and always you always have those white folks who got to come around and you know, you guys are too loud. Call the police on you. You know, the way you're acting, and we brought it out before. You know, back in the 1800s, Mexicans would be hung for being too uppity. They called it. You know, too uppity meaning you're acting too Mexican. You know, blacks would be hung for being too black. You know what I'm saying? And what is that? In reality is that we have pride in our culture. Mm-hmm. They hate us for our culture, but yet they steal our culture. Today it's evident when you look at the culture in Japan. Take a look. I'm gonna give everybody a who's watching today, and you'll see how the Japanese are taking our culture, our lowriders, our hairstyle, our cholo culture, how they're out here trying to take our culture and making it their own. Today it's evident that they may hate us, but they love our culture. You know what I'm saying? That what they're doing is taking what they hate and make it their own. And eventually, like today, you see, you know, what used to be a great culture called hip-hop, today it's a homosexual culture. When hip-hop was a great culture in the 80s, in the 70s, it was a culture that talked about the problems that black people had in America. It talked about the drug problems. It talked about the situations that black people had in America, in New York, in the Bronx, in Harlem, and they would use the music to express the problems that they had. Music, the breakdancing, the dancing, the way of dressing. It was a way that they would express their culture. Hispanics have done the same thing with their cholo culture. Our lowriders, the way we dress, the way we talk. You may call it gang affiliation, but we called it making them what it really is. They've never lived our culture. They don't know what it is to live in the barrios, and what it is to live with the fear of being shot, of going out in the street, or what it is to live the fear of, you know what, you're tagging your hood on my corner and going out there and retaliating. They don't know what it is when you're in junior high school, right? And you're in the yard in the baseball field or the soccer field, and a car rolls up on the outside of the fence, and another gang pulls out, 3-4 guys pull out and go to the fence and start throwing up gang signs against your people in your neighborhood. They never know what that's like. They don't know what it's like to wear that tattoo for real. They don't know what it's like to wear that color for real. They're out here perpetrating, trying to be a culture that they're not. And you know what we're doing? We're allowing that to happen. We're sleeping on them stealing our culture that we have died and bled for. And now they're taking it as if it's a game. And that's why Israel is dead. But let me tell you something. Here in the Isupk, in the Israelite waking up of what our culture really is, this culture they will never be able to assimilate. You know why? Because the Lord has called on a special people, the black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. Us wearing our fringes, us speaking our Hebrew, us gathering as black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians will never be able to be taken by another culture, ever. You had a precept on that?
What is it? What is that?
What were you calling on? I see you raise your hand.
This is for the salt of the earth.
Go ahead with the salt of the earth.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
We are the salt of the earth. This that you see that they call ghetto, that they call hood, that they call Salakia, that they call what do they call us, man? They got all kinds of names for us. But you know what? I'll tell you what we call it. They may call it whatever they want, but what we call it is our way of life. Continue.
But if the salt has lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted?
So when we lose our Savior, when we lose our art, when we lose our culture, I'm gonna make a perfect example. You know, I grew up in this era. Breakdancing went from being a culture of people from the hood to being a culture of the Jewish man, putting it on the big screen in Hollywood and destroying a beautiful culture of hip hop and breakdancing and battling and you know, just being black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian, Puerto Rican to being something on a big screen with white people trying to perpetrate and becoming who we are.
And like you said, I want to get on them Chinese, man. You know what I'm saying? All the Chinese people, you know what I'm saying? They stole the breakdancing, right? Don't you see? Like, they love breakdancing. You think they the best at breakdancing because they can flip and do this and that. You understand? They stole that from us. But you would think that, you know what I'm saying, they made that up. You know what I mean? And you would think that they made it professional. Like you said, the Jewish man put them on a big screen and you know what I'm saying, and put it on a big screen and flipping it off of things and flipping off it and things like that. You know what I mean?
Con, let me tell you something. The flavor that the black and the Puerto Rican and the Hispanic bring out in the 80s of wearing the Adidas, of wearing the Pumas, of being, you know what they call it? B-boy culture. The B-boy culture, what they call B-boy culture today, was really a culture of black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. That was our culture. The black, the Puerto Rican, the Mexicano, that was our culture that we had cultivated, that we had brought out because of our oppression in the streets. Why did we bring out breakdancing? Because we were gang affiliated. And there was a generation of people who decided, you know, to score without killing each other. And this is a culture that we bring out through our mockery of what it is. That's something that's not ours. That is something that has been taken from us and then watered down, because that's what it really is. It becomes watered down. It becomes a culture that is no longer our culture. Some bandits, some Jewish industry has taken that culture and destroyed it and has made it a mockery. You know what I'm saying? Before it was something that, you know what, a black and Hispanic would see each other and we'd be like, all right, well, you know what, we about to get down, and they'd find a whole different way to get down. Why? Because before that, in the 70s, we were all killing each other in the streets with these gangs, with these cliques, one block, another block, another block, and another block. And what we would be doing is we just be killing each other, man. We just be finding ways to do what were they called, rumbles. You know, the rumbles in New York, the rumbles in Chicago, the rumbles in LA, and that's the way we were killing each other. But at one point we bought in, and you know what he was saying, and we see evident in hip hop today. Hip hop, drugs, destroying your people, drugs and money and hoes and pimps and
CHAAZAQ. This how you know it was a devil. Like he said, hip hop was about how they're struggling, how somebody else is making them struggle, fight the power, fight the man, whatever they were saying, all the stuff they were saying. Now what is they saying? The white man said, okay, we're going to take that. Y'all are saying too much about us. Now we're going to make you say, kill your brother, have sex with your brother, woman, you understand? And he flipped the whole...
Shalom, brother. Shalom, Lord in Christ.
Shalom, Lord.
What is the greatest thing that we have, and that is, like the brother said, you know, what did he say, that precept, great people. That precept that we are the salt of the earth is a great precept, because it's showing that, you know what, the Lord has chosen us. He has chosen our people above all people. So why are we allowing our nation to be destroyed? Why are we allowing our people to be diminished in culture-wise, intelligent-wise, as a nation? You know what I'm saying? We should never allow this to happen. That's why it's important that we log into these shows, and that our power, so this is like an energy drink. Once a week, an energy drink. Because me and my brothers, every week, we decide that, you know what, we need to boost up our people. We need to help our people to get a boost during the week. Because it's easy to go to work and forget who you are. It's easy to go to work and forget that you are a great nation. and fall into the lies and deception of a nation of people that have raped and murdered you, and that we join with our brothers and sisters to make sure that, you know what, we stay connected to this truth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what happened? You got logged out. Yeah, it's okay.
So are you still on? Should be on still.
Yeah, barber shop, please. Let me get some more.
So it's important that we stay on. You know what I mean? Let me get on again. We're still on the.
Yeah, we're still on here.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I could bring out something that was like 3 minutes ago. No, go ahead.
Hey, CHAAZAQ, everybody. If you got booted out off this show for some reason, you know how Facebook does this. Don't forget that we are logged on to ISUPK Inconvenient Truth on YouTube. ISUPK California. Make sure you log on to YouTube. We're there. We're still live on the air. You know, nothing's going to stop this show from going on. So if you got booted out for some reason and you're logging on again, don't forget, man, we still on, man. We're not going to go nowhere. Log on to ISUPK YouTube, Inconvenient Truth, ISUPK YouTube California. You know, we're still going to be there. Salakia for, we got booted off, but it's all good. We continue. Go ahead.
Subscribe to the channel, too.
Subscribe to the channel. Definitely. So, you know, back to the point, you know, we're here with the ISUPK, and of course, what we are here to do is rise up our people and help them understand that we are a special people. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, y'all. What's up?
I just wanted to bring out, I ain't wanted to let it pass. You know what I'm saying? What you was bringing out was so heavy about, like, you know, white folks not wanting us to have fun. They see us at barbecues. They call the police on us. You know, you can look this up and laugh, because you know how black folks laugh, first of all,
right,
and Hispanics laugh. You know what I'm saying? We fall out. You know what I'm saying? We laugh for the most part. What I'm saying is that we having fun. So it's in their hearts for us not to have fun. Just know that. Just know that that's so petty. They so petty that they don't even want us to laugh on a plantation. And just imagine now we out here free and barbecue, and the barbecue smelling good, and they wish they can have a plate, and the black man and the Hispanic man looking good, and they wish they can have a plate of that too, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? So just know that the white man is evil, man. He's evil, and we should not be like him. You know what I'm saying? That's
Con. And let me tell you something. It's important to know this, because you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here because it's important for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian to know that their history is such a rich history, man. Like we have such a great history that we have to understand that we need to preserve it. You know what I'm saying? And to preserve your history, the most important thing is to teach your children your history. That's how you preserve your history. Because you're gonna go, but you have to make sure that your children keep that history alive. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that right?
Right.
Because if we don't keep our history alive, who's going to do it for us? Who's going to help us to maintain a history so important that the white man despises us? You got that?
Read. Sir, if I could, Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
Khan. He that teaches his son grieveth his enemy. That's an important precept, because we're the ones that are teaching our sons, and that's vengeance against our enemy. Because the enemy grieves today. He's mad. He's angry. He's calling you a racist. He's calling you hate speech. He's saying all these things about you, but because our enemy is being grieved. Let me tell you something. The most important weapon that you can have is truth. You know what I'm saying? And I know that a lot of my Hispanic brothers, they believe that, you know, the Chicano, the Nahual, the Mexica movement, that's the truth. But you know what? White people don't care about that history. No. To them, that's nothing. You can teach that anywhere. They teach it themselves. But when you begin to teach slavery and destruction of black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, that's a war on the white man. Because they can stand for you to say about yourself, but they cannot stand it when you begin to speak about blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians as one. You know why? Because when they begin to understand that we are one, to them that's a threat. Because when a black man and a Mexican man get together, that's a threat to America. That's a threat because let me tell you something. Black and Hispanics are the strongest people on this earth. Puerto Ricans, Native American Indians, Cubanos, Puerto Ricanos, Chicanos, Salvadoreños, Guatemaltecos. We are a strong nation, and together, man, we become a threat. Because imagine what it's like when those that you oppress begin to realize that one certain nation is oppressing all these nations.
Right. And
go ahead.
Like, if you want to say, okay, oh, the Negroes are your enemies, if you Hispanic or Native American Indian, if we all want to say, we are worst enemies. Well, guess what? We got one common enemy that's killing all of us. So let's deal with that first, and then deal with each other. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. We are really not our enemies. You understand? The white man is really our enemies. If we can get rid of the white man and his philosophies, then we will be all right. We will be all right. You think that we so different, but we are really not. Why you think that we are all in the same ghettos and we get treated poorly? You understand that much? We get treated the same way that, you know what I'm saying, all the tribes are getting treated. You understand? Everybody is catching hell that is from the 12 tribe chart. If you don't know what the 12 tribe chart is and the 12 tribes is, look up isupk.com or .org. You would know who the 12 tribes are. You understand? And we all are getting treated poorly. Not nobody from Portuguese and things like that, how they want to put it. You know what I mean? They want to. They always want to put like a heathen country. Right. And say, oh, they're going through it too. They went through slavery also. They're look at them right now. Look at them. You know what I'm saying? But really, in reality, they're not really going through nothing like how we going through. And if they are, they just stupid and they don't know how to fix their self, and they don't know how to work. You know what I mean? Like blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we can get a piece of land and multiply and be fruitful. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really need the white man. We think that we need his technology, computers, cell phones, and whatever the hell you think that you need of the white man, but you really don't. Because let me tell you something. We built America up from the ground up. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You understand? Right. They put the medicine in. You understand? And the Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? The Hispanics and the Negroes built America on up, man. We did so much for this goddamn country. Excuse my language, Slovakia. But we did we did so much for this country, and for black people to ignore that fact. Come on, man. I see why a white man would ignore it, but why would you? Why would you say, hey, white people are cool now? White people are nice. Why would you do that, man? Come on, man.
And let me tell you something. The reason we come on the show is because, you know, someone has got to speak up for our people. You know, every week we come out here, every week we teach a class. There's always something different on this class. You know, one thing that never changes is that we always highlight that, you know what, this has happened to our people. And the reason why you always hear us speaking on this is because no matter what, I will always remind everybody, weekly, man, this is a weekly reminder. Every week I got to remind all my people that the white man has robbed, raped, and murdered Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I remind you every week is that you don't go out there and forget. Don't go out there and make America great again, because you know what? I'm going to remind you every week that these people have come out here and done this to the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Let me tell you something. As a Hispanic, I'm going to speak for my Hispanic people. As a Hispanic, you know, give me the Deuteronomy, Kasharwan, about a nation that has come and destroyed us. As a nation of Hispanics, let me tell you something. One thing that we have that a lot of nations don't have, right? As a Hispano, if you're Hispanic, if you're Mexicano, if you're from Mexico, no matter what state you're from, your state has a history. Your people have a history. Because the Aztec, the Mexica, the Chichimeca, even though the Chichimeca joined forces with the Spaniard, in the end they realized that they had assimilated with a culture that destroyed them. You know, they joined forces with them to destroy the Aztecs, but in reality, they found out in the end that they had assimilated to the wrong people. They had followed the ways of a nation of people that in the end broke every single promise they had made with them. The Cortez and his people. And that brings me to the point of today, because I know I bring it out, you know, and that is that one thing that Hispanics have is that throughout history we have been able to record our history. You know, this goes for a lot of the blackety-black Israelites, that all Israelites are black. You know, we've heard that. You've heard that?
Yeah.
You know, definitely. And it goes out for all those Hispanics that say, oh, the Northern Kingdom, black people are Canaanites. You've heard that too. You know, that's a big thing today. Uneducated so-called wannabe Israelites are out there spreading rumors or spreading nonsense about blacks in America being Canaanites, and blackety-black only Israelites talking about Mexicans aren't Israelites. But let me tell you something, and this is important, because you know, you need to know that our history is recorded. Hispanics have recorded history throughout every century. Since the beginning of the Aztec, the Mayan, even the Toltec times. Even though the Toltecs have little history, we have recorded the history of our people. And the way we've recorded it has not been only verbal, but it's been through pictorial dictionaries, through pictorial history. We have drawn our history throughout all times. Ocelot, are you there? Go ahead and let me know. I'm about to drop something on you. This right here is important, Ocelot, because a lot of our people need to understand how our history is and how important it is for us to understand our history. You know, there's a lot of Israelite groups out there, but here in the ISUPK, we are super educated.
Right.
And the ISUPK, the Lord has chosen people who are highly educated and understand their culture and their history to be able to come into this truth and speak this. I'm not here for no reason at all. I'm here because the Lord has chosen us to speak this history. You got that?
Read. The one that destroyed thee?
Go ahead and hang on before you read that. And so today I'm going to show you how our people have preserved our history.
Right.
As we know that throughout all of the Aztec temples, you know, the historians have found murals throughout all the Aztec temples. There's murals that have been drawn in every single temple that exists in Mexico, in Central America, and throughout all of Latin America. I have this book here called 500 Nations, and this book, 500 Nations, tells the story of our Aztec people. And in it, it writes the story of how we used to draw our history on the walls. They drew their history. Some of their history pertained to their way of life, their daily way of life. It pertained to their sacrifices. It pertained to their marriages, their concubines, their marital status. It pertained to the food they ate. It pertained to their holidays, their high holy days. These histories were written throughout all of Aztec history. They drew it on their cups, on their sacred chalices, throughout every antiquity that how could I say, archaeologists have found. They have found what they call paintings, what you call art, what they call murals, what they call whatever you want to call it. They have found it throughout every century. They have found this in their temples, and it was something that the great artists would dictate on everything, on the chalices, on everything. They would draw their history, and this is famous in Mexicans, in Latin America, because all of us that are Hispanic, we all have that little sense of art. You know what I'm saying? We all got that little sense of that they call, you know, that the Lord has gave us. as our own salt of the earth. And what I'm bringing out today, I'm going to go from the Aztec kingdom in the 500 nations and the art that they drew. And I'm gonna let me show you one real quick, just for you can understand what I'm talking about. Here you go. Let me bring it out here. See that? That is the artwork that the native Aztec Indian would draw on their walls, on their books, on their clothing. They would draw these things that showed the daily life of the Aztec people. You see that? I'm pretty sure y'all can see that. They were known for having a thing about colors, how to use them, how to dictate their art, how to show their lifestyles. Let me go to another one. Right? This is a little earlier. This is a little later. This is some of the artwork of some of our famous artists here. But let me show you. This here is older work. Here you go. Right? Let me try to put it right. Okay, there you go. Let me go to another one. See this? This is the artwork that our ancient ancestors left in the codex, all the codex left in Mexico, that to this day you can still find. And what it is that you're seeing the artwork of our people. The codex, known as codex, this is the artwork of our people. This is how they used to, let me go into here. This is, if you can see closely, the artwork that's done on even this here. You see that? And I'm going to show you why I'm going into this right now. I'm going to show you why I'm going into this right now. But this artwork is important artwork. Even, see that? Right? And I'm going to go ahead and show you a few of these. This is in the Aztec times. This is in the time of the Mexica. This is in the time this is in the time of the Nahuatl times. You know what I'm saying? This is how they drew history. This is how they cut. And what you're looking at here is what is that precept? Go ahead and read that precept. I'm gonna show you this artwork and the precept that goes with it. Go ahead.
Colonel Khan. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
28 and 49. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So the Lord bring a nation against us from far. What was that nation? What was that nation that the Aztecs drew about? See that? You see that war that's going on there? They're fighting against the nation from far.
Right.
This is a depiction of a battle that's being fought by the Aztec people, by the Mexicas, and this battle is being fought against the nation that came from far. Continue reading.
Colonel Khan. From the end of the earth.
From the end of the earth. Where is that end of the earth that he's talking about? That end of the earth that he's talking about, let me bring this one here, is the Spaniard. See that? Continue reading.
Colonel Khan. As swift as the eagle flieth.
This is the Spaniard that came from across the ocean, that came from afar, and they never seen anything like it. And they came and they destroyed the Native Mexican Indian known as the Aztec. Continue reading.
Colonel Khan. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue we shall not understand. Let me tell you what language the Mexicans spoke. The Mexican Indian, the Mexica, we spoke a language known as Nahuatl. Nahual is our native language. The Salvadoranian people spoke a language known as Pipil. The people from Honduras and Guatemala and those regions spoke a language known as Quiche. This language that these people spoke was known as Castellano, which is Spaniard, which is Spanish. You know what is Spanish, but it's known as Castellano. These us who understand this language is known as Castellano, and that's a language that we didn't understand. We didn't know what Castellano was. Castellano was foreign language to us. Continue reading.
Khan. A nation of fierce countenance.
And that was a nation of fierce countenance. Let me tell you something. Cortez was a fierce countenance. Cortez was a man that came to our country and destroyed our people, and we didn't understand his language. All we knew that this man looked like a monster, like someone who could destroy anything that was in his path. And the Mexican people feared this man. And I'm going through my book right now, and I'm going to show you a picture of what they thought that Cortez looked like. I'm going to find it right now. But, more on that?
Yeah, kind of.
Continue reading.
Which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
So this man came into our nation, and he didn't favor us. He killed us equally. He killed the children. He killed the women. He killed the men. Man, he killed us without regarding any kind of sympathy for young, old, or any of us. And this man didn't give a damn about any of us. Go ahead.
That's no different from what's happening today.
Right.
I mean, you talking about something that happened, 400 years ago?
Over 500
years ago. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing that's happening in 2019. You know what I mean? And these words.
Yeah. And this right here is a picture of how they depicted Cortez. And that woman that you see next to her is known as Malinche. Malinche was a traitor to the Aztec Mexican people. She sold out her people because she was I don't know how she did it, but she understood the Spanish language, the Spaniards' language, and she understood our Nahual language. And she was the cause of the deterioration of the Nahual people, or the people of Mexico. She allied certain tribes with Cortez and destroyed the Aztec nation. Because of this woman, a lot of other indigenous people allied with the Spaniards. This man is known as Cortez. And she destroyed a country that was once pure.
Kingdoms.
Go ahead.
That was a kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Like, and once again, you know what I'm saying? Women destroy kingdoms, cities, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and you think that, you know what I'm saying, they should be over you? You know what I'm saying? We should make it available to where women should just only be under us, man. That's what the Bible does, you understand? And like Officer Lahab was bringing out, you know what I'm saying? That's so powerful what you have brought out, you know what I'm saying, that the nations came from afar, and you got proof, and more proof if you need it, that the Israelites is Israel, you know what I mean? Because that scripture that he brought out, read it again.
Khan. It's like from the top?
Yeah, Baba Shah.
Khan. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
Uh-huh.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From far, man. They didn't know what those, you know what I'm saying, the Israelites and the Native Indians didn't know who those people were, you know what I'm saying? Like, they came from afar, you know what I'm saying? They was infiltrated too, though, you know what I mean? Had to be, obviously, you know, go ahead.
Khan. From the end of the earth.
From the end of the earth, man, far away, man. That's black talk. From the end of the earth, like they was way out there.
Right.
You understand? Way out there. I don't know where they came from.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
And let me tell you something. It's important to understand that Hispanics, you know, especially us Mexicans, we should understand that when it comes to our history has been preserved. It's been preserved by some of the greatest artists in Latin America. One of the and as I showed this book right now, the reason I showed it is because this book here is an important book. Mexico had 3 of the greatest muralists. And why muralists? Because you know why some of us have kids, right? You know why your Mexican kid is out tagging on walls? You know why your Mexican kid is hanging out with his tagger group and making big murals, and you know the Puerto Ricans doing big murals and doing bombs, what they used to call it, the stuff that was happening in siqueros, things like this on walls, and depicting history that happened to them in Mexico, depicting what happened to their people, depicting what happened to their nation, you know, throughout the revolution, throughout the indigenous revolution, throughout the conquest of Mexico. They were out there doing these things. They were out there tagging walls and making great murals and showing the tragedy that happened to Mexico, that happened to Isupk, that happened to the Mayans, the Aztecs, and all these people that existed way before you even knew, man. Before you even knew, oh man, my kid's got a spray can. Let me tell you something. The reason your kid has a spray can is because his spirit is that of Israel. Because his spirit is that who needs to
incarnated, and that's in the Bible too. To do what they have always done, you understand? Like to write on walls. Like I can't go out there and write on walls. I can put some in songs and some, maybe do that. But you know what I'm saying? Certain people, you know what I'm saying? That's a special gift to write on walls. You know what I mean?
God, let me tell you something. And you know how you know when you're Mexican? You know when you're Mexican because you carry the culture of the Mexicano, of the raza. You know, if you grew up with the lowrider, it's because, man, you were Mexican, bro. You know, if you grew up with the raza on the streets, because you were Mexican. If any of us were Spaniard, we'd be growing up with Spaniard goddamn culture. We'd be hating on our own people. Spaniards see Mexicans as dogs. Spaniards see Mexicans as less than. Let me tell you something. Me and my people, we love our Mexican people. We love our art. We love our culture. We tagged. We did all those things that only Mexican people would do. You know what I'm saying? We did the things that other people would see and be like, those people should be in jail. You know what I'm saying? They seen us doing that and they were like, those people should be arrested. We seen it as, this is our culture. And we embrace Chicano culture. You know, I have an uncle who marched in the Chicano March at Salazar Park, that is called Salazar Park today. He marched in that. You know why he marched in that? Because he knew his culture. He knew that he loved his people. And let me tell you something. The reason why you're graduating, the reason why you open your mouth today, the reason why you even an Israelite and are able to step out and speak against your enemy is because people like my uncle went out there and spoke for the freedom that you have to speak like that. Not those goddamn people who went and fought in your armies or went and fought in Vietnam or World War I or World War II. They fought for a nation that wanted money. My people went out and fought for the civil rights movements and the ability for you to speak up and to be able to say, I'm goddamn Sakari. I'm goddamn this fake Israelite group. Or I'm goddamn this and that. That's why we here today. Because just like them, the Isupk in 1969 decided we're going to speak up. We're going to go out there. We're going to raise a voice. And we're going to wake up our people. And your people came because our people allowed you to do that. And you know what? If you're in some fake Israelite group and you have second thoughts of our people, you should reconsider and understand that the reason why you get to say what you say is because Commanding General Yohana and all the people that joined the Isupk allowed you to do that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, something.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so let me tell you something. The next time you decide to second think our people that are in the ISUPK, we only take the righteous, the people that are true, and those that have a pedigree of being Chicano, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian. Because if you're not, you don't belong in this group. You know what I'm saying? We come here to teach the truth. We come here to tell our people that, you know what, throughout history, our people have been robbed, raped, and oppressed. And we're the group, we're the school that are coming out and bringing that to the forefront. And that's why we're here today. You know, today's topic is that our people are our people. Our people revolution, not of your Native American Indian brothers or of your Hispanic brothers. It took real people to go out there and speak up about what was happening, of being those who have Hispanics and Native American Indians.
It will kill us. Like, I ain't worried about no simple white man. Simple white man can threaten me with prison, life in prison, life in the hole. You understand? But listen, let me tell you something. You don't want the Lord to be on you for not doing what you're supposed to do. Like this revolutionary, that this is something way bigger than Black Panthers and, you know, the Ku Klux Klan or whatever the hell you think that we are. You understand? But for the most part, this is coming strictly from the Lord. Right. And we have to do this. And we must do this. And if we don't do this, we will die. Our people are going to be extinct, and we will die, and white people will live, and everybody else will live, because at one point they will not need you any longer. Go ahead.
Sluggy, if I could, got a precept for that.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh. Verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
And like you don't realize that the Lord is making you suffer for this long time because you don't want to wake up to these laws, such commandments. Let me get a scripture on, you know what I'm saying, like for a long season, you understand?
If I could too, like I know, like Kazak saying, like Kazak talking about raising the voice and speaking up,
right?
You know, speaking up for the Most High, speaking up for, you know what I mean, for Christ and everything like that, you know. And the thing is, we're speaking up. We're speaking up so that the curses that are in the Bible don't come upon Israel no more.
Right.
You know what I mean, so you don't have to suffer those punishments. You don't have to go through those curses. You don't have to go through all those bad things that happen when you disobey God. And right now we're living out those punishments. Right now we're in oppression. Right now we're in the ghetto. Right now murdered on the street. Those things happen to you because you're disobeying God. And there's nobody out there telling you that these bad things that are happening to you is because you're disobeying God. You think about the Christian church who has the Bible, who has the scriptures, who talk about how they know Christ and how they know God, but none of them are telling you that God is punishing you, that God is the one that's killing you. God is the reason why you're going through destruction. You understand? So what Kazak is saying is heavy because you need men to go out on the street and tell you that God is gonna punish you if you disobey Him. You understand? God raised up prophets. You understand? Moses was a prophet. Joshua was a prophet. You understand? Christ was a prophet. And these men went on the streets and gathered the children of Israel and brought them back to the laws of God. You understand? That's the same thing we're doing today. You understand? Today in 2019, the UPK, this is the school of the prophets. You understand? Right. That's why we have online classes. That's why we're on the streets. That's why we're all over the internet to teach Black and Hispanic and Native American Indians to come back to the laws of God, so we don't have to suffer no more. So we don't have to be destroyed no more. So you know what? Rather than being destroyed and rather than being cursed, you know what? We can receive a blessing from the Most High. You understand? And Black and Hispanic Native American Indians, we don't know nothing about receive more blessing from God.
Right.
Let me say something real quick, because I want to answer this brother Amon Ra Sakari bullshit.
Can I get this scripture real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Baba Shah. Yeah, we're gonna answer that fool later.
Second Chronicles chapter 15 and verse 3. Now for a long season.
A long season. What's that long season, man? 400 years, man.
400 years.
Or, you know what I'm saying, and how long the, you know what I'm saying, the Israelites been in slavery, you understand, and they land taken over. The native Indians, man, a long season. It's been a long season now. It's been a long season, long enough. Go ahead.
Khan. Now for a long season, Israel had been without the true power.
Nah, go read it again.
What's like it?
Read it again.
Israel had been without the true God. And without a teaching priest.
We went out with a true God. We've been serving all these other gods. The Christianity, being a Muslim, being a fake Israelite. You understand? Because look, since 1969, the truth been started. But look, it's been so-called black Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Before that, right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, read it again.
Khan.
From the top, Baba Shah.
Khan, sir. Second Chronicles chapter 15 and verse 3. Now for a long season, Israel had been without the true God.
Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians been without a true God. You understand? We thought that we were serving something, but we have been serving nothing. And how do we know that? Because we failed. We die. We get killed. We get murdered. You understand? We get sick. You understand? What else, man? We in the prison systems. You understand? That's how we know that we without a true God. Go ahead.
Khan. And without a teaching priest.
And without a teaching priest. The only teaching priest is in the ISUPK. If it's not ISUPK, it's not a teaching priest. It's just a thing that we name for himself.
Damn right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Khan.
Baba Shah, please.
And without law.
And without law, man, we've been without law for the longest. Especially fake Israelites. Fake Israelites, they are still without law. We've been teaching this truth since 1969. Don't eat pork, don't eat shrimp, don't eat lobster, don't sleep with white women. They still do it. You understand? We don't do it though. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Christian church been without it for good night. You understand? Since they've been born. You understand? Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 4. But when they in their trouble did turn unto the Lord God of Israel and sought him.
And sought him. Go ahead. Israel don't want to go back to the Lord. Israel want to have a little more fun, and they die. They go get AIDS. They go get whatever the hell that the world got to give, man. And that's disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I had on that joint.
And let me tell you, the reason why is because let me tell you something. A lot of the question was that how come we don't allow or come together with any other group, with anybody else? I'll tell you why, because let me tell you something. It was very simple. We keep the traditions of our ancestors. If you're Hispanic, you should understand that the Aztecs the Mexicas did not affiliate with any other group. If you were ranking to be an Ocelot Jaguar warrior, you couldn't go out and join any other group. You had to go to a special school to be honored to be that person. If you were an Eagle warrior as a Hispanic in the Aztec kingdom, if you were going to be an Aztec warrior, Eagle warrior, you went to a special school to become an Eagle warrior. You weren't going to any other goddamn school to be an Eagle warrior. You weren't going to any fake group to be a Jaguar warrior. To be a true warrior, you were sent to a special school and you were given a special task to fulfill and become that special person. Only then could you become that rank. You weren't going to some fake school or some fake group. No, man. You have to understand that us as Hispanics, we need to understand that our history is placed in a special place. That special people hold rank because you were in a school that was sanctioned by the highest source in the kingdom to become those people. Today, on this earth, the Lord has appointed the ISUPK as that school. The Lord started this school in 1969. Everything else that has come afterwards has come from breakoffs from a school called the Isupk. Sakari is a breakoff. Name me some.
Man, purple, homosexuals. We don't even
outside.
Anything, man, anything. Because
I
don't know.
Let me tell you something. I don't know those.
Hey, I don't know any of the groups, because when I wanted to become an Israelite, I did my research. I looked through the internet and I found out and I read that Isupk was the original home of the truth. So what did I do? I went to the source, man. I didn't go to no second hand or no fake group or no wannabe group. I went to where it started, because me, I'm the type of person that wants to go where it's at. The OGs, man. I ain't going to no fake group. I ain't going to some group that was started by a porn star.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to some group that was started by someone who fell out of the Isupk. I'm going to a group where it started. I'm going to the root of where it's at. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna pull a scripture too. Go ahead, pull it out.
Go ahead, read.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 4. There is one body and one spirit.
There's one body. There's one body of Christ. You understand? That's the body. That's the UPK. This is where the brother just brought it out. This is where the truth started. That 12 tribe chart that everybody has, where did that come from? That came from the UPK. Those breakdowns that you have, of the white man being the devil, Esau being the devil, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians being the 12 tribes of Israel, comes from the UPK. You understand? There's one body. Go ahead.
Khan. And one spirit.
One spirit.
Even as ye are called in Khan. In one hope of your calling. One Lord. One faith. One baptism.
One what?
One baptism.
One what?
One baptism.
One baptism. One teaching. You understand? And what was the teachings of the Isupk in 1969?
Right.
What was those teachings? Rape was not a teaching in 1969.
Damn right.
There was no brothers raping in 1969 or teaching it was okay to rape in 1969. There was nobody teaching that it was okay to have sex with white women in 1969. There was nobody teaching that that all nations can be saved in 1969.
Right.
So that's why we don't affiliate with nobody. The reason why we don't come together with everybody is because everybody else is teaching something different than what was taught in 1969.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So if you want to go love white people, man, the UPK is not for you. If you want to go ahead and rape and teach it's okay to rape, then the UPK is not for you. If you want to love white women, then the UPK is not for you.
Right.
If you want to smoke weed and teach it's okay to smoke weed, then the UPK is not for you.
Right.
Because you know who teaches that? The Christians teach that. So there's a gang of Christian churches out there that you can go join. And it's okay for you to do those things, man. But if you want to be a soldier, and if you want to serve God and serve Christ militant, then you need to be right here. And there's only a special brother that can come into this school, man. This school is not for everybody.
Yeah, bro.
You understand? And look, we don't want nobody that wants to have sex with white women. This place is not for you, man.
Damn right.
I mean, like I said, there's a Christian church right there for you, man. Go join them.
Right.
But if you want to be a man of God and be a man of Christ, man, and change your life and be different from everybody else, then you need to come right here.
Hey, man, that's so true, man. You know what? This school is not for everybody. You know why this school is not for everybody? Because here we stand up as men, man. We out there speaking against our oppressor. A lot of other groups are like, well, we should join with our oppressor. It's okay to have white people in this school. It's okay to go and not speak about, harshly about what they did. In this school, man, in the Isupk, man, we're not gonna water down what the Lord has told us to talk about. And that is of the destruction of black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Go ahead.
Go read that. I want to bust their head with this real quick. I know you probably... Fake Israelites don't understand this. That's why they never read this. Fake Israelites... Okay. fake Israelites that think they in the truth, that's on Facebook and that's on YouTube and on the street corners, being unprofessional and just unruly. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, read that.
Khan, the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Now, we've been doing that since 1969, but a devil, you know what I'm saying, got in, or a demon got in somebody's head to make them have a split. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's naturally want to gather together to be a family. It's,
right.
That's natural. It's unnatural to be like, why he leave? What the hell he got the army for? You know what I'm saying? That's unnatural. Go ahead.
Khan. Yeah, gather together. Oh, nation not desired.
And everybody know that we are the nations that not desired. Go ahead. Everybody, I don't have to expound on that. We are the nations that not desired. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
Keep reading.
Yeah.
Khan. Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth.
Do what?
Before the decree bring forth.
So it said gather before. Like, you know, fake Israelites want to say, we gonna get it together when Christ come back.
Right.
Christ gonna set everything straight. What did the scripture say? What did the Most High say? Go ahead.
Khan. Gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together. O nation not desired. Before
what? Before
the decree.
Not after.
Before.
Nah, we gonna get it right when Christ come back. I don't need to come with you ISUBK niggas.
Right.
Before the decree bring forth.
Decree bring forth. Go ahead.
Before the day pass as the chaff. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Before the what?
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Everybody know when the Lord angry, he's going to be angry. And if you not in that boat at that specific time, then that means that you are evil and conniving and a traitor to your people. And that's when the, you know what I'm saying, when the chariots come, brother, if you ain't on them chariots, you understand, then that means you are evil, conniving, and a traitor to your people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have to do this before. The Lord said do it before. Gather together before, not after the fact. After the fact that everything's good. So you can be like, oh, my bad, ISUBK, when we've been putting in all this work, you know what I'm saying? Not that it matters that we've been putting in all this work, but it really do. But what I'm saying is that you should want to do it before Christ come back. Because Christ is literally waiting for everybody to be in order to gather his people.
Right.
Like, don't you want your family to be in order? Be like, don't you, if a disaster happens, don't you call your household and be like, hey, get everything ready, get the kids ready, get everything ready, and I'm about to come pick everybody up at once, and we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? You want Christ to be, okay, he's in the truth too. Y'all both been serving the truth. Oh, okay. He been, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Ain't nobody got time for that. Fake Israelites, you know who you are. 1969, you know what I'm saying? It's ISBK since 1969 under commanding Jimmy Yohana. You understand? And if it's not under him, it is not of the truth.
God, and let me tell you something. The reason why ISUPK is so special is because we've been able to bring black and Hispanics together under one roof. And between both of us, we got a history that is so powerful and so sad and so tragic that when you begin to hear us speak, black and Hispanics together, you begin to realize how entwined our history really is, how tragic it is, and how important it is for us to keep this history alive. Because as tragic as it may seem, it's our history. And we can't allow it to disappear with fake Israelite groups or groups thinking, Christian groups thinking, you know, let's love is what is it? Love is everybody. God loves everybody. To put it that way, God loves everybody, and that just makes it seem like we're all the same, we're all equal, that we're all one. But the reality is that Christianity and Catholicism is killing our people because it's making it seem as if our history, our tragic history, is not important. let me tell you something. I'm one to say that our history is so important and so special that it's enough to make people understand that we're a special people.
Right.
Who else has gone through what we've gone through?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the Bible, throughout the book of Deuteronomy, tells us how tragic our story is and how our story is special. And you know what? A lot of times when you go to your Christian and Catholic churches, they don't want to read that Deuteronomy. You know why they don't want to read that Deuteronomy? Because if they read Deuteronomy, you begin to understand that it's talking about Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Go ahead.
And if I could too, that's just Deuteronomy. But what about outside of Deuteronomy? What about outside, like the punishments?
Right.
Now, what about when King David ruled?
Right.
And this one, Israelites
Bring
ruled the whole world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why don't they bring that up? Why don't you learn the history of Black and Hispanics, which is in the Bible? The Bible is a history book for Black and Hispanic and Native American Indians. And yeah, we had our downfalls. But what about when we didn't have our downfalls? What about the time when we were ruling and we ruled over white people under King David and King Solomon? Black and Hispanic people ruling over white people, ruling over Arabs and the East Indians. You understand? Ruling over the Chinese people. That's hard to understand because we never knew it.
Right.
You understand? What if you could teach, what if you could teach your children about that when we were in rulership? When we ruled over the whole goddamn earth, man. You understand that? That's why they don't want nobody to know the real truth about the Bible. Because let's say we do find out about that truth. Let's say we do find about that history. And then we look at our condition today. And we look at how we in poverty and slavery and we poor as hell.
Right.
We're going to be like, man, we might as well just go back to the things we were doing in the past, which is serving God. And we serve God, man. We're going to rule over everybody. You understand? And that's what the Bible's about, man. We need to come back to the culture of our ancestors, like CHAAZAQ was bringing out. Coming back to the culture of our ancestors, of our forefathers, and seeing their mistakes, and seeing the things that they did right and how they prospered, man. So we can do it today. Right now we're messing up. So what we need to do is go into the records of the Bible and see how our forefathers prospered. See how Moses prospered in Egypt. You understand? How he overcame slavery. See how Joshua prospered. You understand? All them great brothers in the Bible, man. Let's see how they prospered, man. And we'll do that today. And you're going to see a bunch of Black and Hispanic and Native American Indians, man, grow strong in America, man. Right. You're going to see them cats that Donald Trump hates. Them brothers that are despised and hated. Them brothers on drugs and in prison. You're going to see them brothers change their lives, man, and become men of God.
Right.
Understand? And you're going to see these brothers grow strong and get raised up in the spirit of Christ. And these brothers right here are going to rule over the oppressors. You understand?
Right.
But that can only happen with the truth of the Bible. When we come back into the truth.
Damn
You
right.
understand?
If I could,
Go ahead,
if I could, like what he's bringing out, you know what I'm saying, is real powerful. Like once again, because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians think that because we in this situation, we cannot get out of it.
Right.
They don't understand that the white people in these other nations know that you can get out of it.
Right.
That's why they keep you sinning.
Right.
Here's the thing, because everybody knows that, at least people that do research, know that America is the twin of Egypt, right? Or what's another word for it? CHAAZAQ.
Egypt.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a, you know what I'm saying, a replica. You know what I'm saying, of Egypt. Like the white man copy Egypt, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To the damn near to the T, with the ghettos, with the narrow streets in the ghettos, and with the pyramids, and with everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With a whole bunch of things. You know what I mean? So for the most part, the white man knows if you will wake up, you know what I'm saying, and get the God that you're supposed to serve, and if he be on your side, then we will be out this slavery. Then we can be powerful and be once again back on top like we supposed to be.
Right.
Because like you said, we was on top once before. If you teach your kids that we was on top once before, then he'd be like, oh, so okay, if we did the same thing that we done in Egypt, where we was getting beat by police and get killed and murdered, then guess what? Today we could do the same thing. All we have to do is wake up, you know what I'm saying, and get under command and Jehovah, you understand?
Right.
Just like in the Moses era, you know what I'm saying, in Egypt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't want to listen to, you know what I'm saying, Moses. Nobody didn't want to listen to him.
Right.
But guess what? Nobody didn't want to listen to General Yohana, you know what I'm saying? Commander
Right.
General Yohana. Nobody want to listen to him. Nobody want to listen to the ISUK. But for the most part, what I'm saying is like, if we teach our kids that once that was us, then guess what? In their mind, they would be like, okay, so all we need to do is just serve the Lord and we'll be out this hell.
Right.
Because naturally, you don't want your kids to grow up in hell. I mean, a good parent do not want their kid to grow up in hell.
Right.
So you're going to do everything you can. And right now, you can't, it's nothing you can do. You can tell your kid to wear, what are those jeans that white people wear? The brown jeans, huh?
Skinny jeans?
Nah, the corduroys or whatever.
Corduroys
or khakis. What, you know what I'm saying? You can tell your kids to wear khakis with a button-up shirt and look white as possible. But guess what? He's still gonna get shot down. And black people that have been transitioning to be white have found that out. So it's nothing you can do but come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High and serve the Lord and come with your people and have mercy on your people and have passion for your people.
And let me tell you something, you know, a lot of times, you know, Hispanics, Chicanos, Latinos, nosotros, la raza mexicana, you know, we have such a strong love for the Lord that we're taken by traditions that have been left over by the conquest of Spain, and we cling to that tradition because we believe that we're serving the Lord. Let me tell you something about Hispanics. I know this because, you know, firsthand, man, I'm Hispanic, my mom is Catholic, you know, Christians, you know, and we understand that we have such a strong love for the Lord that if you go to your mama's house, let me tell you something, if you go to your mama's house, she's going to have a Virgin Mary in her house. You know, she's going to have candles in her kitchen, in her living room. She's going to have Santo Niño de Antorcha, you know, in all over the place, you know, because we have such a strong love for the Lord that we're starting to believe that all this stuff is of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Te persina tu madre, te da tu persino, persínate mijo before you go out there, you know. And even when you become a gangbanger and you go into the cholo or into the hood, you know, even then you still have a strong love for the Lord, because even at that point you're tattooing the Virgin Mary on your back, crosses on your shoulder, you're putting your crosses on, you know, on your body, you know what I'm saying? You're putting the temple of the Lord on yourself, or at least what you think is the temple of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Even furthermore, you go and buy a lowrider, you know, you put, you know, thousands of dollars into your lowrider, and even your paint job, you're getting a paint job with the Virgin Mary on that hood, on that trunk. You know, you got a $8,000, $6,000 mural on your lowrider. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Because we love the Lord. You know, because we think that we're honoring the Most High by doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We go and paint that white Jesus on our arm. The reason we do it is because we believe we're honoring this Lord. You know, I used to wear sweatshirts. I'd go to the swap meet and get those velvet letters, you know what I'm saying? And then get that iron-on, that transfer with the Virgin Mary with my name on it. And all because why? Because I have a Lord for the Most High. You know what? It's a natural thing that black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we have a natural love for the Lord. And we do things that think that we're honoring the Lord. The only thing we don't do is read that Bible. The only thing we don't do is keep the commandments of the Lord. The only thing we don't do that the Bible tells us to do is love our brothers as ourselves. We go out and the murals in our neighborhoods show the Virgin Mary. The murals in our neighborhoods show the white Jesus. The murals in our neighborhoods, and I'm gonna go into the mural list of Mexico. You know, this is Jose Clemente Orozco. You know what I'm saying? And we're depicting murals. Even in the 1930s, we're drawing murals of crosses and Spaniards and white Jesus, and we're out there depicting our people as a nation that we're not. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
I want to read.
The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Romans 10, verse 1.
Romans 2?
I have a zeal for God and I point to knowledge.
Oh, okay, so like it. The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High.
Hang on. The Lord is bearing record. You know what that means? That the Lord is watching us. The Lord sees the zeal that we have. The Lord sees Hispanics, Chicanos, Latinos, Salvadoreños, Guatemaltecos. Y Él mira, He sees that we have a love for Him. Churches throughout all, man, even our country. Your country is called El Salvador. If you're from Salvador, if you're Salvadorian, your country is called El Salvador. You know what that word means? That means Jesus, that white Jesus, the Savior. That's what that word means. El Salvador means the Savior. Right. You know, the real name of your country was Cuscutlan. That's the real name of your country. Right. Cuscutlan was the name of El Salvador before the Spaniard came and renamed it and called it that white Jesus, El Salvador. You have, man, we have the zeal. We love our countries. We love our people. We love our Lord. But what happens? Continue reading.
Carl Khan. But not according to knowledge.
But what?
But not according to knowledge.
Man, but we do not have the knowledge of the Lord. Mexicanos, Salvadoreños, Guatemaltecos, Centroamericanos, Latinos, we Chicanos, we do not have the knowledge of the Lord. We don't understand what it is to open up a Bible and read it. We don't understand what it is to follow the commandments that the Lord has left us. We do not understand what it is to love the Lord as it should be, as the Bible states that we should. Any more on that?
Like it.
Go ahead.
So, if I could.
Read.
I'm going to say this, though. Now, we have a zeal for God, but not according to the knowledge, right? So the zeal we have right now is we have a zeal to worship white Jesus.
Right.
Worship that Christian cross.
Right.
Worship those white prophets, right? We have a zeal for Christianity. We have a zeal for white supremacy. You understand? We'll worship that white God. But how many of you black and Hispanic and Native American Indians gonna worship that nigga God though?
Right.
You know, like Catmull Quad. I got that from Catmull Quad. That's like in Chicago.
Yeah.
Catmull Quad said, what about that nigga God?
Yeah.
Right.
Black and Hispanic. If you Hispanic, you Mexican, are you gonna worship a black God? Are you gonna worship the true God, which is black? Jesus Christ, which is black. The prophets. Oh, you know what I mean? Paul, which is a black man. You understand? Peter, a black man. These were men, you understand, who were black. Those were our brothers, man. Those were our brothers according to the Bible.
Right.
You think about that, and think about today how Hispanic people hate black people.
Right.
You understand? Your whole life you're giving your love to a so-called white man, to a white guy, a white Jesus. But what if you found out that God and Jesus Christ were black? You understand? Why don't you give your love to them brothers right there? Why don't you give your love to them brothers that live in the ghetto right next to you? You understand? Doesn't that make sense? Why the white man made Jesus Christ white? Because he wanted us to love them and come against our own brothers, man. You understand?
I'm sorry.
So like, go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead.
Because I might forget, you know what I mean? But you said that we in the same hoods.
Right.
Like you don't see Arabs. I ain't seen Ubaka, you know what I'm saying, in my neighborhood yet.
Yeah.
I've been all around I've been in most neighborhoods in America. In the ghettos. I did not see, you know what I'm saying, I did not see Africans unless they working in the corner store.
Right.
I did not see, you know, Arabs, and let's say in the corner stores,
right.
or on JJ and Fish, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And got our women up in there, you know what I'm saying, sucking a rod
right.
for a piece for $4.99 piece of dinner, you know what I'm saying? And the white man, you know what I'm saying, in our neighborhood, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Slacker.
Oh, you done? Go ahead.
Yeah, but I, you know what I'm saying? I don't see that, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
I was gonna say, we gotta find out, like you black and Hispanic, you gotta find out the way this nigga God runs, his spirit. Because you gonna find out the same spirit that he has is similar to the same spirit we have in the world, which is what? Mm-hmm. Militant. You know what I mean? Hardcore spirit. You understand? The Lord is a man of war. Black and Hispanic people are men of war. Just on the left hand side. But what if we could get it on the right hand side? You understand? Men of war. God says that we can have multiple wives, multiple women. Black and Hispanic man in the world, don't you have multiple women? You understand? That's that same spirit that the Most High has, that Christ has. That's in the Bible, to have multiple women, to be militant, masculine, hardcore. You understand? That's the way Christ was, the prophets. You understand? They were hardcore black and Hispanic men. You understand? But that's what the Christian church is trying to hide from us. That's what the conquistadors hid from us. Mm-hmm. That's why they erased our records. You understand? That's why the slave masters erased our records, destroyed our history, because they did not want us to know the truth of the Bible. You understand? Mm-hmm. But you know, we got to come back to the truth, and we got to understand that Christ was a hardcore black man. You understand? From the ghetto, just like blacks and Hispanics. You understand? We can relate to Christ because he lived the same lifestyle as us. You know what I mean? He went through the same struggle as us. You know what I mean? But that white Jesus, he can't relate to him. You understand? You can't relate to white Jesus, the ghetto.
And let me tell you something, because what Lahab is talking about is so true, and I'm about to show you how our ancestors knew this. You know, because as Hispanics, once again, I'm going to let you know that us as Hispanics, our history has been portrayed in our artwork. It's been left over for us to see. I mean, today we're ignorant because we've been blocked off of a truth. But I'm about to show Hispanics how. If you look back into our history, into our art, because man, Hispanics love art, and I'm going to show you how it was true. Let me show you this. See, take a good look at this painting. What you're looking at here is that man on the horse is a Spaniard, and he has a whip. And as what you can see here, this is our people right here, portrayed as slaves. And what color are those people? Those people are dark-skinned, brown, black people. They're in all shades of brown, all shades of black.
Right.
And as you can see, they're being portrayed as slaves here. When you say that you love a white Jesus, it's because you're forgetting your own history.
Right.
You're here worshiping a white man. This man on this horse, he was a white man. These people here are portrayed as our people. Light-skinned brown and dark black people.
Right.
How can you worship those that came into your nation? What is that precept? That came from afar,
right?
Right? A nation that came from afar, and that a tongue we didn't understand. These are those people there. This is that history. And this painting that you're seeing, this is a painting from one of our ancestors, one of our people from our own country, who drew and depicted the destruction of our own people. It's important to know that our history can be found in our own Mexican history. That's the thing about Hispanics, that we have a culture so rich and so and have grabbed.
Romans?
Romans 10:2.
Yeah.
The book of Romans chapter 10 and verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High.
Like, we got a zeal for the Most High, but it's the wrong thing now. Like, we have always had a zeal for the Most High. Get big chain, big dawadas, big, you know what I'm saying, menorahs.
Right.
We got a big menorah. Where is that right now? You know what I'm saying? That that the white man stole, you know what I'm saying? Right now, you know what I'm saying? We got a big menorah, we got big dollar, we got all the gold that you can find, we got a zeal, you know what I'm saying, to serve the Lord. Read it again from the top.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High.
Like, we got his dances, we got the longest parties. Man, you loving white people, and they taught you everything you know up into when you was born, because your forefather was scared. He was scared. That's why you live here with us. Oh right. Yeah, I'ma listen now. Right. Oh, they telling the truth. Right. Oh, they put it in movies. Right. Oh, they telling the truth. Right. Negro, it's been out here since 1969. Right. The Color of Christ. You see a little simple YouTube movie on YouTube. Oh, see, look. Christ must be black. We've been telling you Christ was black before YouTube.
Right. And let me tell you something. The thing is that for Hispanics, our history has been written for us by the greatest artists in Mexico. And they depicted what our people look like. Like, all you have to do is go back into the 1930s and 40s and see some of the greatest muralists, what you call graffiti artists, greatest muralists in Mexico. They held the history of what our people look like. And let me show you. I'm going to bring this one right here. Take a good look at that. What you see here is the Spaniards. And look at our people. The dark brown people, the black people, the light brown people. We're the ones that are building the pyramids. We're the ones that are building America. We're the ones that are building the European Mexico. We're the ones who they chose to put into labor and slavery to build their countries. And to this day, we continue to do that. America is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. And so is Mexico. Mexico is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. These are the Native Indians of our Latin America. Slaving, you see that? That's a slaving. And let me tell you something. Where do I get this from? This is coming from one of our greatest muralists in Mexico, Jose Clemente Orozco, who in the 1940s began to write the history of what our people were like and what happened to us in those days. And he keeps his art in the greatest places, which is the walls and the halls of our historical buildings throughout Mexico. It's without a doubt that if you begin to look at the history of Mexico, you will find who our people were. It's written on the walls of our country. It's written in the subways of our countries. It's written in the subways of New York. It's written in the subways of America. The revolution, the depiction of European countries coming into our land and being the Catholic Church stealing our money from us. Giving that the tip that you gave went back to the French, went back to the Catholic Church, while our people had to stand up and fight in revolutions to find that freedom that we've been looking for. But let me tell you something, in the ISUPK, that freedom that you're looking for is right here. This is where you'll find that freedom. You know why? Because in the ISUPK, we're going to free you from the oppression of the white man. We're going to begin to let you understand that you are a special people and that the Lord has chosen you and that He has chosen every single one of your generations, special people throughout all your generations to write the history of your people. And you know what? Today, the Lord has chosen a special people, and that's us in the ISUPK. My brothers, all the sisters, all the brothers in the ISUPK, He has chosen us. He has chosen us because we're the ones that are going to bring that record of the black, Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Ain't that right?
Damn right, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna say this too, like if you don't want to wake up, you don't want to come to the truth, man, you dumb.
Right.
Like, how you gonna see the things that are going on in the world? You know what I mean? Things that are going on in the Middle East, things that are going on in America, and the oppression of your people, and you just want to live your own life? You know what I mean? You just simple. You understand?
God.
You know, you understand that life that you're living today, that life that you're living is gonna come to an end real soon.
Right.
You understand? There's gonna be a full-out world war real soon. It might be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You gotta understand that the reality that you live in is gonna come to an end. You understand? And you just might as well come down here, man. This right here in this school, man, this is where you gonna be saved. You understand? Well, there's a full-out war going on in the world. In here, you ain't gonna have to go through that world war. You understand? You ain't gonna get shipped to the Middle East.
Right.
You understand? And suffer and die. You understand? You're gonna be right here with us, teaching blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians how to follow God and how to follow Christ. You understand? If I were you, I just come in here. I come right in here. You understand? Right here with CHAAZAQ and CHAAZAQ. I'm saying, get down with your brothers. You understand? Because right here, you're not gonna go through the things. You're not gonna go through the plagues and the oppression and death that everybody else is going through, man. You understand? So it'll be a wise decision if you're black and Hispanic and Native American Indian and West Indian. If you come to the truth, man, you just follow God and let go of that simple lifestyle that you're living. You understand? Go ahead, CHAAZAQ.
Man, you know, true, man, true. You know, you got to come into the ISUPK for you to be able to understand that you are a special people. We're going to teach you how to come back to the Lord. We're going to teach you how to come back and separate yourself from a nation that has done nothing but destroy us, that has done nothing but rob, rape, and murder us. You know what I'm saying? That's what the ISUPK is here for. That's what we're here for. You know what? That's what this class, the Inconvenient Truth, is here for. We're here to bring our people back because it's important. Because you know what? It's been a long time since we've been able to stand up and, you know what, speak for ourselves. It's been a long time. It's been decades since Chicanos and our black brothers and Native American Indian brothers have been able to come back once again and stand side by side. You know what I'm saying? And speak these words of truth. And that's what we're here for. We're here because we know that the Lord has appointed a special time in history to wake up His people, and that His people may come together and, you know what, speak these words that are inconvenient for a nation that has done nothing but robbed, raped, and murdered and destroyed us. Man, I don't know if y'all know, but Mexico, the president of Mexico, sent a letter to the president of Spain asking him to apologize for the atrocities that Spain committed on Mexico. And the answer to that letter was that Spain would never apologize for the atrocities that they committed. They said that that was in the past and that it should be forgotten. But that's the sentiment that white people have to blacks too. We have a lot in common. When you tell a white man, you know, this happened to the blacks, their answer is, well, that was in the past, you should forget about it. That was a long time ago, and that's no longer valid. But if you look today, we see our Hispanic children being incarcerated in concentration camps all across America. They're being caged like dogs, treated like animals, separated from their families. And the black man is being shot and killed in the street without compassion.
Right.
And you know what? That's the way they feel about us. And that's why it's time that we unite and we come into this truth, the ISUPK, that we might be able to lift a voice together, you know, as one, as a group, as people who care about what's happened to us.
Salaki, and why is that who said that you that's in the past, you should forget about it?
The white man said that.
Okay,
Spain.
so Spain said that, right? So why is he saying that? He's saying that because he thought that his forefathers did a great job in forgetting about in destroying the history. As you bring it out, we know the history. You know what I'm saying? And also the blacks know the history. The Native Indians know the history of what happened to us. They always try to destroy what has happened to us. You know what I'm saying? By killing You know what I'm saying? The men, and then raising the kids up themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the school districts. You know what I'm saying? They trying to get rid of the history. But, you know what I'm saying? As you know, Isupk out here deeply teaching history and teaching what is happening to the younger generation and to YouTube, to everywhere, Facebook. And they want to cut us off. But go ahead.
Now I was gonna say this too, and look, and one thing that makes it so hypocritical is that Spain is telling us that to forget our history, right? That it really don't matter. And the white man tells black people to forget about slavery. It don't really matter. But then they tell us to remember 9/11.
Right.
You understand? You see
and the 4th of July.
And the 4th of July. That's coming up. 4th of July. That's the white man's hypocrisy right there.
Right.
You understand? That's the white man being the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? And that goes to show you, if the white man is telling you to forget your history, that means you should always remember your history. You understand? If you're Hispanic, man, you should never forget what the conquistadors did to your people. If you're black, you should never forget what the English and the British or whatever did to your people. You should always remember it. You understand? Because and to point out this, what they did to you in slavery is the same thing they're doing to you today. What the conquistadors did to the Hispanics is the same thing the white man is doing to Hispanics in America today.
That's right.
They're throwing us in detention centers and raping our women and raping our children. That's the same thing that they did to the Hispanics 500 years ago. It was called what? It was called what the Catholic Church called?
Inquisition?
Not the Inquisition. It was called Slight, because you don't know those churches.
Missions?
The missions. They were throwing our kids in missions, right? And raping our children.
Let me tell you real quick. The missions were equal to the boarding schools that the Native American Indian was forced to go into to leave his culture and become white through death, murder, and rape. That's the same thing the mission was.
And Native Indians did that. They had that happen to them too before, right?
And you understand the whole point is that's what the white man did to our people. So what the white man was doing to us 500 years ago, 400 years ago, is still happening today, but they're telling us to forget about it. At the same time, they're telling us to remember the atrocities that happened to their people. You understand? That's why in the UBK we call the white man the devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
You understand?
And let me tell you,
man, it's so deep.
No, go ahead.
It's so deep.
Oh,
if I could.
Go ahead.
It's so deep what y'all bringing out, because all this reminds me of reincarnation. Like, you know, the white people are saying that happened a long time ago. Forget about it. They want you to forget about it because they done that to you, and you telling them you did this to me. You done this, and that, and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize that they are the same people back on Earth, and now you're facing them today. You understand? And that's why you should forget. That's why you should separate from them, because they the same people that took your people. You know what I'm saying? 500 years ago, 400 years ago. We born in regeneration every 4 generations. You know what I'm saying? So what happened 400 years ago? We are back on Earth, and that's another topic that you should tune into only for ISUPK. You know what I'm saying?
And let me tell you something. Like the thing is that when black and Hispanics come together and begin to speak about this thing, like today we got CHAAZAQ in the house today from Northern California, and the thing is that when you bring black and Hispanics, we have, you know, instead of sitting around at a table and talking about music or talking about, you know, how drunk you got on the weekend or what the new hip-hop song is, if we sat at the table and began to speak about the atrocities committed to his people and to my people, there is so much that we could speak on, hours of the atrocities that we have seen and heard and learned about historically about what our people have gone through. And then we begin to understand how closely connected we are and how we are one family and how we are one people. Hispanics alone, man, if you're Chicano and you understand, you know, a lot of Chicanos love the murals, the art. If you understood about your people, the artists of Mexico, the muralists, the great muralists of Mexico, you would understand that they began to depict the atrocities committed to them by the Spaniards and how Christianity was a death trap for Hispanics. Just the way Christianity was a death trap for Native American Indians. Just the way that Christian church is a death trap for my black brothers and sisters all across America. When we begin to speak and talk about these topics, and Hispanics begin to realize, you know what? Why do we worship that white Jesus? Why do we worship that white Mary? When we begin to ask the important questions, we begin to realize that this that we're talking about is the destruction of our culture. And how today we're trying to assimilate into a culture that has destroyed us throughout all of history. And all we have to do, man, all you have to do is tune into this class.
Damn
the
right.
Inconvenient Truth.
Right.
All you have to do is listen to the Isupk brothers and sisters, the brothers out there who spread this truth, and you begin to realize what a poison Christianity and Catholicism has been to our people.
Damn right.
Ain't that right?
Inconvenient truth.
And that's why it's important that we begin to unravel the history and unravel that's been hidden, that we might be able to wake up. You know what? This is not for us, man. This is not for me. This is not for CHAAZAQ. This is not for any of the brothers who are teaching today. This is for our children that come after us, that they might grow up into a world and into a nation of Israel that is, what is it?
Not desired.
What is it?
Not desired.
No. That we are untainted. What is that word? No. That come without blemish. That's the word. A nation of people without blemish. Our children will be a nation of people without blemish. They will grow up to never celebrate a Thanksgiving, to never celebrate a Christmas, a New Year's, a 4th of July. Our children will grow up to never understand what it was to hold hands with the enemy that robbed, raped, and murdered us. Go ahead, brother.
And say, if you want your people, let's just say if you want your kids to grow up the American way, and you want to teach them love everybody and this and that, and you teach them everything that you got to give to love the white man, and he still end up getting killed by the white man.
Damn.
How would you feel, man? How would you really feel? So you might as well tell them to just love blacks, Hispanics, and go and teach them righteousness, and teach them how to. And listen, let me tell you something. Since I've been in the truth, I haven't been in jail.
Right. Damn
when
right.
I was in the Christian church, I've been in jail damn near every goddamn month. So lock it. Every goddamn month I've been in jail for a stupid reason. But since I've been in the truth, I never seen a jail cell.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the police stopped me a couple times, but guess what? I never been in jail. You know what I'm saying? They never had nothing on me. You see what I'm saying? So the truth made me better. Christian church made me worse.
Hey man,
you
you right about that. Let me tell you, you right about that. You know why? Because when you're in this truth, you leave all that behind. You know, when you're in the Christian church, they're like, man, I ain't gonna do this crack no more. I ain't gonna do this coke no more. And come Monday, after the weekend, you're right back on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go to church on Sunday, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna pray that I don't do this no more. And you come right back to do it the next day. You know what I'm saying? But when you come into this truth, you learn to leave all that behind. You know what? Let me tell you something. We are the Isupk coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York City. And we come out here every Wednesday. We're here with this show, The Inconvenient Truth, to wake up our people, to wake up a nation of people that have been dead and asleep.
Right.
Man, we're out here to bring our people to reality and bring our people to this truth. I want to thank everybody who watched today, stayed on with us. We got cut a few times, but you know what? We're right back on and doing this show. Man, Hispanic people out there, my raza out there, man, look into some of these books I bring out. You know what I'm saying? Look into the truth of our Mexican muralists Jose Clemente Orozco, Diego Rivera, and Siqueiros. And you know what? With these people, you begin to realize that the paintings that they painted begin to depict a truth that has been hidden from us for a long time. You know, I urge everybody to look into these studies, man, and to look into our history, that we might be able to break free from this bondage that we have and decolonize your mind of who we are, man. And you know what? Come back to your heritage, which is Israel. And where are you going to find it? Right here in the ISUPK, man. Hey, y'all, what's up? The water for coming down here today, man. Most High in Christ visiting us today from San Francisco, from up in the Bay. Y'all was up in the class, man. We want to thank them for coming down.
Man,
remember, we're here.
With you, man.
Come, man. The water, man. It's always good to have you here, brother.
It's good to talk about this type of stuff, too.
Right. When is your class on?
My class?
Yeah, you guys got a class up there?
Yeah, we got Tuesdays, also Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
I teach Thursdays, and sometimes Captain Quam, he's a captain up there, you know what I'm saying, that teaches Thursdays as well. You know what I mean?
You guys hold camp out there?
Yeah, we hold camp every Saturday, you know what I'm saying? We hold camp every Saturday, in San Francisco.
Right. Hey, man, it's a beautiful thing out there in San Francisco. We go out there and we check you guys. We've been out there a few times. We check you guys out, man. San Francisco's a heavy place, man. They got that gay pride up there, man. So you guys must have a hell of a time up there.
Yeah, also, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to the San Francisco, you know what I'm saying, I mean the Oakland channel of ISBK Oakland. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of boot kisses that people don't know about. We got boot nicks too, you understand, that people don't know about. We also got, you know what I'm saying, just go on there, you know, go on the channel. You
Con, man. Most High in Christ, man. We're glad to have Captain, Officer Yawasop in the house today, man. Tune into his class, UPK Oakland, man. We up there, man. We all over the nation, you know what I'm saying? And we're glad to have had him on the class today, man. He came all the way from Sacramento, from San Francisco area to be in our class today, man. Most High in Christ, much appreciated. Remember, we're here every week. Every Wednesday, the Inconvenient Truth. Tune into us next week. You got any questions? You got anything, man? You can hit me up on my Instagram, you know, CHAAZAQ Instagram, or hit me up right here on this page. Put up your questions, man. We're gonna get to them next week. For now, man, we're glad everybody joined us. Man, the water for being on our class. All our peeps from Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? Shalom Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai Baruch Atah. The water for joining us, man. Till next week, this is CHAAZAQ, ISUPK, Cali Kings, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Baruch Atah. To everybody who joined us, man. Shalom, Israel.
Inconvenient Truth.
Inconvenient Truth. Damn right.